here.
Yeah, so it wouldn't help a single person right now. So if you were the queen of the United States, you would implement policies which wouldn't help a single fucking person right now.
I think also you're ignoring that sometimes in politics, it's not just about policies helping people short term, that you're trying to create long-term systemic impact.
Great. Okay, well, let's get into that. So you brought up the homeless crisis in the United States. I'm not sure it's a crisis, but the homeless problem. You're the queen of the United States. Same thing. How would you solve the problem of the homeless in the United States, even with a long-term solution?
Are you asking me, a 21-year-old college student, to solve U.S. homelessness right now?
Yes.
Can you vote?
Yes, but
Yeah, you're damn right I'm asking you the question.
You got it, Kylie.
I am a political science major.
I believe in you.
I love my political
Kylie
science
for president.
major.
I'm sorry. Hang on, Kylie. Are you allowed to vote?
Yes, I am allowed to vote.
Then yeah, I'm asking you the question. That's right.
I want to decline this question, and it's because I'm going to be honest, I truly don't think I'm equipped to solve U.S. homelessness.
Are you going to be voting this year?
I will be voting, but I do have
and you're
no
going to vote for
interest in
Biden, right?
Public office ever.
You're going to be voting for Biden, right?
Decline the question.
Yeah, you're going to be voting for Biden.
You know what? Actually, Andrew, I did speak to her before the show. She said she's voting for Kanye.
I almost wore my
Brian, you weren't supposed to tell
daddy's
anyone
home
that.
shirt.
She's voting for Kanye, Andrew. I'm sorry to ruin it.
Andrew, respectfully decline, but I do appreciate you asking me about politics.
Okay, well, let me ask you a different question. If you could have voted in the last election, who would you have voted for?
This is a very tricky question for me to answer, just because currently I do not agree with a lot of Biden's policies.
Sure, but if you could have in the last election, who would you have voted for?
I will say that given my knowledge at the time during the 2020 election, I would have voted for Biden.
Right.
Do I feel more apprehension voting for Biden now after seeing his first presidential term? Of course I do. I think a lot of people do. His approval rates are down. Trump's currently ahead in the polls.
He'll still vote for him.
Of course. But I think given...
All right, let's not dogpile. Let's not dogpile. But
well, there's no dogpile. I just wanted a quick answer to this. I had a feeling that it would have been Biden if you could have voted last time.
Yes,
but you can understand why. The reason that I ask these questions, right? And you say, if you use the cop out, well, I'm just 21 years old. It's like, okay, but you can cancel my vote. You can cancel my vote. And that is, it's sickening to me that a person if we move into a political discussion, right? And it's not even anything against you. I just don't think that 21-year-olds are smart enough to fucking vote. That you can ask them a question and they're like, I don't know, I'm only 21. It's like, well, then why are you fucking voting?
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
What would you do to solve U.S. homelessness? What would you do?
I would reopen mental institutions, public mental institutions, and put most of them in there because that's what most of them are, is mentally ill, and they're homeless by choice. Most homeless people are homeless by choice. Or due to severe mental illness.
Would you also implement policies to ensure the continuity of care once these people were out of the mental institution?
We already had such policies, and fucking Democrats destroyed it all. The passive-aggressive, pussy-ass Democrats, with their bleeding hearts, decided that they were going to tear down the public mental institutions. The reason that they did it is because they sent a reporter went into one and found signs of abuse in one institution. And so they tore the entire thing down. That's why you have homeless people shitting on the sidewalks in San Francisco, and why you have them shitting on the sidewalks in Miami, why you have needles all over the place, is because these are literally mentally ill people and you can't do anything with them. Nothing.
I actually do agree with your point that we do need more federally funded mental health care for people who can't afford it otherwise. I will say that is a very valid point. I agree with that.
That's how you solve the problem.
Yes,
and you know what else you do? You take the VA. You take the VA and every single veteran, you make them tax exempt for life. You make them tax exempt for life, period. And you give them the finest care possible. And the way that you do that is you divert all of these pro-drug policies and the enforcement arm of the pro-drug policies, and you hand it over to the veterans. That's what you do. That's how you solve that problem, and you make sure that they get the mental health care that they need. And the ones who are not veterans, who are sitting in the streets and taking a shit, you lock them in mental institutions where they belong.
I to say I agree
That's awesome.
with your point that we do need better care for veterans. I think that I think the U.S. healthcare system is just, it's royally.
I do have to move things on a little bit, but that was a great back and forth between you two. I don't know how we had homeless, we had environmental issues, we had oil and gas. It was good.
Getting all the topics in.
It was good.
Yeah.
Really quick on you're an environmentalist? Care about the environment
would
or something?
say that if I have to put a label on it, I feel like the only way that we're going to reach systemic change is by collective action. So I'm not an environmentalist per se. I'm someone who advocates for bipartisan climate solutions.
And when you say collective action, do you mean like on an individual level, like we shouldn't be using plastic straw, like plastic?
What I mean by that is a broader concept. So I'm talking about the diffusion of innovation theory. So essentially it states that you have early adopters, right? It's a small percentage of people, and in order to create a new social convention, which is when the majority of society adopts a new idea and it becomes just like taught practice, it's passed along through generations, and it becomes a part of our societal institutions, you need at least 50% of the population to embrace this new convention.
So what would be, I mean, are you looking on the individual level that people need to make changes?
I think that people individually should be making changes. I don't think it's
So,
the
like
responsibility of
reducing-
the individuals. I will say, caveat
Okay.
to that. I think that it will be taking the work of individuals and also larger corporations.
Okay, so what is like an action on the individual level that we should be doing to lessen the impact on the environment and climate? Like single-use plastics, would that be?
I actually really appreciate you asking this question. I think this is something that I personally do, and it's such an easy fix. All I do is I wash my clothes on cold water. It's such an easy, quick that you can make, and it's environmentally friendly. It takes so much unnecessary energy in order to heat the water to go to your laundry room. I want everyone at this single table. Start washing your clothes with cold water. It's just as effective. Studies have shown that it's just as
Okay.
effective.
And it
Sure,
cleans
that's fair.
it better.
But-
Yeah, and it cleans
So-
it better, and
Takes
it
stains
also
out.
gets the stains out faster, and it also your colors won't fade. Your clothes will stay nice. You won't have to buy clothes as often because they're not fading, they're not deteriorating as quickly, and it's such an easy, quick fix.
So what about like plastic usage?
Plastic usage? I will say, okay. It's very, very hard to undercut plastic usage just because literally everything comes in a plastic container, right? So I'd say it's just like tiny steps. When I go to the grocery store, I try to bring like reusable produce bags, and I try to bring my own bags. Sometimes I forget. I'm human. I'm not going to beat myself up over that, and I don't think any of us should be like holding ourselves to these impossible standards. But I think there are like little things that you can take that do make a difference.
Do you see this? Put it back on other angle, Nick, really quick. Back to the other angle. Yeah, you guys see this bottle? So I have a dating story.
Oh no.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Based off a water bottle?
This was 3-4 years ago. I don't remember exactly. 3-4 years ago, I was on a date with a girl. I brought this, not this exact bottle, but it used to actually be.
Let me
It used to be
Did she
called.
shun you?
It used to be called Poland Spring, but they rebranded. In any case, I brought a water bottle just like this onto a first date with a girl, and the date was actually going well. We were bantering. I don't think it was a perfect fit, but at the end of the date, as we were about to leave, and she made a statement about you shouldn't. This was one of the most peculiar things I've had happen on a date. She went on this rant, like she was upset at me for having brought a plastic water. I'm not making this up. I swear
Yeah.
this happened.
She's got a flask, huh?
No, I believe
So, okay.
you. I believe
So I
you.
went
There
on
are
the first
people that
date.
are like that.
And she was kind of eyeing it the whole time. And she's like, Brian, you shouldn't have brought a plastic water, but it's so wasteful. Why
She's
don't
like
you
looking at you all
buy?
shifty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering to myself if that was the reason why the whole date she was a little bit on edge, because I brought a plastic water bottle. And her tone when she confronted me on this, mind you, the date was pretty much over. She was like, last thing, one last, before we go, want to tell you this. God, I wish I recorded that. Oh my God, that would have been, okay, content. Okay. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, okay,
She said F you and your plastic water bottle.
Yeah, she was getting mad at you for having the plastic water
Yeah,
bottle.
so, so I actually reversed it on her, and I was like, well, what kind of car do you drive? How often do you take vacations? I noticed you're wearing makeup. That comes in plastic containers. Would you be willing to cease your makeup usage for the betterment of the environment? So I guess my question, kind of jumping off of that, is
Is that a make or break?
Would you be willing to make a commitment right now? If I'm willing, I will promise you, for all my washes, I will only use cold water. Mm-hmm. If you are willing to stop buying and wearing makeup, do you agree?
Well, there's actually makeup that you can buy that uses reusable containers. See, like when I'm getting makeup, I buy refills.
Well, okay, so what about the? Okay, so what about the?
Yeah, and who was that makeup tested on? How did they test to make sure it was safe for human consumption?
Okay, but so who?
Now this ties into climate change, by the way.
I know it does.
So the materials that are fine, it's in a paper biodegradable container. Although I suspect probably most of your makeup isn't, but maybe some is. So the actual makeup itself is made up of I heard about this thing called mica.
Oh,
and it's frequently in various, I don't know what specifically it's in, but foundation, I don't know exactly. And it's mined essentially by child labor, and then you obviously have to transport these raw materials, and then once this makeup is manufactured in some other country, a lot of these makeup products are not manufactured in the United States, it then has to be shipped across the sea, and then they're burning bunker fuel in these cargo ships, which is fairly
toxic,
fairly bad to the environment. So I guess, would you be willing to? I suppose there are some makeup products that are less impactful than others, but ultimately there's still an impact. So if I'm prepared to say, okay, I'll start washing with water, will you commit right now to no longer wear makeup for the rest of your life?
Here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to your story about the water bottle. I think that you should be able to use your plastic water bottle, right? If I was that girl, I don't think I would have shunned you like that. I buy plastic water bottles every now and then. But you know what I do instead? I reuse them. I'll refill them with water later in case I don't have a water bottle. I'll recycle them. I'll do what I can, right? It's not about fully committing. It's about making the swaps when you can. When I ask you to, here's my logic behind it. When I ask you, when I tell you, you should be washing your clothes with only cold water, does that make a difference in your life? Does that subtract anything from your life? Or is that just you flipping a switch on the washer, pressing start, and nothing in your life changes?
No, it doesn't. I'm not sure. I would have to look into, there could be an argument that could be made. I'm not familiar. I haven't researched arguments when it comes to laundry, but there couldn't there be some hold on, let me finish. Couldn't there be some argument that, I can't believe I'm arguing this, that washing things at a higher heat has a better
cleanliness?
What's the word? Like if there's bacteria or something, it has a bigger impact there.
I get what you're saying, yeah. Because hot water has been proven to kill germs better. That's in terms of dishes. That's with your saliva, everything like that.
Well, what if your clothes are soiled?
Are you soiling your clothes often?
No, but I'm just for the sake of argument.
I guess in that instance, yes, I would say that.
Have you ever seen skid marks on?
Here's the thing.
I use baby wipes.
You could just work in a farm or something like this and have soiled clothes, right?
Or a child.
Wait, but okay, so fine, yeah, it'd be a very simple change, but I guess what utility does wearing makeup serve?
What utility does wearing makeup serve?
What's the actual utility?
I like doing it. I have a good time with it. I don't wear it most days. I would say that I wear it every now and then. A lot of days I'm just too lazy, and it's not. And if anyone wears it every single day, that's nothing against. I'm fine with that too. If no one decides to wear it, individual choice. What my argument here is that I make swaps for the climate in ways that are just easy. I don't even have to think about it. But I'm not holding myself to this crazy standard, and I would never hold anyone else to this where you have to do everything environmentally friendly, because I think you're gonna kill yourself trying to just do that. It's too much to expect. You're only human. I wouldn't expect you to do everything perfectly. You know what I mean? That's my logic with it, is you make the swaps when you can, but I'm not asking you to only use cold water. If your argument about the soiling, I think that's a great point that you raised. If you so happen shit your pants, be my guest, use hot water on your clothes. Should you use cold water when you can? Yeah, probably. But I'm not asking you to make all of these swaps.
No, but I'm just saying, okay, so I guess where I'm trying to get at, you made a call to action. You're like, hey, everybody at the table, start washing your clothes